What up guys, Derek Sosa Photo Porter. Yes, it's me again. Am I doing good? Yes, I am. Is everybody healthy? Yes, everybody is. Have I hit a rough patch? Yes, I have. Recently I did a video in the same location right here about how a flood, little natural disaster, kind of ruined some gear and stuff and flooded my parents' basement, and that I would bounce back and everything would be fine because I will never give up. I swear, it kind of feels like God is trying to tell me, Derek, stop. Just stop. Cut it. Cut all this. Just give it up. Remember my lens, my 24/7 EF L series Canon lens? The lens that I do everything with. The best lens that I've ever owned. One of the Trinity, right? You have the, 1635, 2470, and the 7200. That's like the holy trinity of lenses. And that lens is, there's nothing I can't say, hey, it's not that great. It is that great.
Somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
And I love it. Loved it. Out of nowhere, stopped working. My lens stopped working. My life has crumbled. My insides dropped. My soul dropped out of my ass. That's what happened. Somehow, I'm able to see the positive in the situation because it could have been so much worse. I had a wedding come up and I decided, well, I'm gonna update some SD cards, so I'm gonna go buy a new SD card. Every now and then you gotta make sure that, you're putting all the chances, everything in your hands on someone's wedding day. You wanna make sure everything goes right. So I got myself a new SD card, went home and decided, you know what? Put in my camera, snap a couple of pictures, and error, 001. People have seen it before. Some kind of like connection is what they say. Called Canon, had a conversation with them to find out that my EF 2470 L series is too early of an edition. They don't fix it no more. They only fix the newer generations of it. And this is the day before a wedding. If you've done weddings before, you know that you need, you can go in there with a couple lenses, a couple fixed lenses, but I got like a 50 millimeter, a 40 millimeter, and I got a 7200, 2470, and one like really wide angle Sigma lens that I'm not a fan of. None of those lenses had me feeling comfortable enough to handle a wedding, because you never know the size of any place that you're going to, and you're gonna need a wide angle lens, and you're gonna need a 2.8 in case it's dark. That's how I feel, and that's how I've handled every wedding, and confidently. So here I am the day before a wedding, find out that my 2470 is not working. My main lens is not working. The positive is that by chance, the universe and the stars aligned to me to buy a new SD card, put it in the camera to find out that my lens wasn't working. Imagine if I would have got to the wedding and it didn't work at that moment in time. I would have just sweat my balls off. My heart would have dropped. I would have been in a panic mode, and I would have never been able to get back to just, okay, do what you gotta do. I would have been too like, oh my God, if only I had my lens and da-da-da-da. So luckily for me, I made a couple of phone calls and a couple of different photographers that I know. One of them had a 24-105, an EF 24-105 L series lens. Had no choice, I borrowed that. Only downside to a 24-105 as far as I'm concerned is it's an f4. So I had never used one and I didn't know what to expect. Went to this wedding, have to say I rocked the house with a 24-105 f4. When you think about it, it's what, a stop and a half away from 2.8? Maybe at some point, photographers kind of just using that as a crutch. I think that maybe, once I used the 24-105, I kind of realized that maybe that 2.8 is a little bit of a crutch. Yes, it is great to have that extra light in a situation like a dark church, which, yes, of course, I ended up in the darkest church I have ever seen. Would have been nice if there was a little bit more light, or a 2.8 might have helped a little bit, but I did what I had to with that. We do have great cameras that have great ISO at this point, so I just boosted my ISO a little bit, threw a flash on there, and did what I had to do with a 24-105, and I did. Don't want to toot my own horn, I did pretty damn good. Like, I was really, really extra happy with these pictures, and I didn't understand why until it started to click. The blurry backgrounds of a 2.8 sometimes is not exactly what you need for a wedding, because first of all, you go to these beautiful locations to do weddings at times. Why would you want it completely blurry? Why would you want a completely blurry background? Why would the person choose to go to a place and you say, you know what, I'm gonna throw it in 2.8 and blur the hell in this background? They want to see the background. That's why they chose this place. So an f4 is actually a great lens to be using. If you're outside, you got no problem whatsoever. That's for sure. If you're filming, I think the 24-105 is even a better choice, because honestly, I don't film on 2.8 that often, because you really want to make sure that what you're filming is clear. You know, I'm not talking about when you do a contract, because when you do like let's say a specific contract, a commercial, a YouTube video, whatever, that you have chances, you have times you can redo a shot over and over and over. A wedding you can't. So you usually want to film it a little bit higher. You know, you want to shoot it at like 4 to make sure that, you know, everything is clear. You got the shot, you know, in focus. And honestly, when a couple is coming down the aisle, or the you know, the bride and the father are walking into the church, you want to make sure that you get those shots. If you have a higher f-stop and you're at like 4, you know, you have a better chance of making sure that that shot is sharp. Very, very sharp is what you want, you know. So that f4, I mean, I think for the longest time I was just believing that you need a 2.8. But after I tried that 24-105, it kind of opened up my world a little bit. Yeah, the 2.8 is a dream lens. It's so good. It is so good, and I love it, and I loved using it. And maybe, you know, if I can find some other place to repair it. If you guys know, please comment down below where I can fix my lens, because Canon won't do it for me. Unfortunately, it's just too old for them. I don't want to throw out huge money to fix it either, because it is an older lens. I was put in a position where I had to make a choice, and I went maybe a week or 2 after that wedding researching all I could on what would be the best purchase for me. I actually really fell in love with that 24-105 EF lens, but that is also older technology as well. And you can find a used one for like 500 bucks. The 2.8, 24-70 2.8, I looked around and I wasn't finding a very low price. I got lucky with mine. I got it at 600 bucks. And so I got lucky, but I've been looking and it's like 700 to 800. That's used. Do I want to spend that much money to be in the same position a couple of years later? Or could this be the moment that I make the leap to a great RF lens? A new technology with stabilization, which I heard teams up great with the OSR, the RP, just really gives you that extra steadiness with shots. And I do a lot of filming, so the 2.8, beautiful dream lens, but that's like $3,000 on the RF. Like, that is expensive glass. The RF 24-105 f4 is also really expensive. I think I'm gonna go with the 24-105 RF lens, and I ordered it. Now, I know the 2.8 is better, but I also know from research that the 24-105, extremely underrated, and people talk about it saying that it's the best travel lens ever, and great for filming, which I do a lot of also. So the thing is, I had to try to like, what do I need? What works for me? And the 24-105 f4 does work for me because I used it and I loved it. I hate spending money on myself, but this is one of those investments that it's not just like, hey, I want to buy this lens for the hell of it. It's for a purpose. It's for continuing in what I want to do, continuing my dream. So I went with a 24-105 f4 RF lens, and it should arrive soon. And I can't wait, and I'm gonna test it out and maybe do an unboxing here. So stay tuned to see that. And let me know if you think I made it, you know, a good choice or not. I think that there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna say no, because they all go with a 2.8, more light, and it's just crisp and sharp and, you know, and all of that. And I understand that side of things. But honestly, off of trying the 24-105 EF lens, I really enjoyed it. And I think it was also this kind of like a new way to take pictures, because you just get so so caught up in shooting 2.8 and these blurry backgrounds and blurry backgrounds. It's, you know what? Photography is not just about blurring your backgrounds. It may be nice on a portrait or something like that, but you're taking these pictures. It's about what you're gonna get on frame. It's about choosing your background for a shot as well. You know what I mean? Not just like, oh, don't worry about that garbage pail in the background. I'm gonna blur it. I'm gonna blur it out. I'm gonna fix it up later. No, I like to get it right on camera as much as possible, and I think that getting an f4, you know, you can still get those blurry backgrounds. It's all about how close the person is to the camera and how far the background is from them. So you just gotta like set it up. You can step back, get that background a little bit further, and zoom in, and you zoom into your subject, and you'll still get that blurry background. And you know, if you really want to, which I'm not a big fan of doing, you know, Lightroom and stuff like that has these new things where you could just blur the background and make it more blurry if you want, and get nicer bokeh if you want. So that would be another option. I don't like doing that. Like I said, I like getting it right on camera. 2.8 to 4. I mean, you know, step and a half. Like it's nothing insane when you really think about it, especially for the price. We're talking 3,000 something. You let me know what you guys think, and I'm gonna unbox it in the near future. I can't wait. A little bit of a shit streak of luck, but there's a positive, right? Always find the positive in these situations, guys. Peace out.